Great. Welcome to Digital Asset News. Take the top stories in crypto and break them down into bite-sized pieces. Today, just as the thumbnail suggests, there's a nice little annual report that came out from Tesla. And surprise, they didn't do too much with Bitcoin. In actuality, they are hodlers. So we'll take a look at the actual report and see what's going on and dig into that. Also, we're going to take a look at China CBDC domination and what's going on in the Winter Olympics right now, because guess what? China is thumping America. And also we'll take a look at two stories that really bring home what's going on in the crypto and digital asset space, which is there's a house up for sale right now in Florida, and it's going to be done and concluded tomorrow as an NFT. And then finally, we'll finish up with a little story from about Portugal and Diddy from the Bitcoin family, Sheehan Zakara, and how Portugal, you pay 0% in taxes, and just what that would mean for people who actually want to move there. So we'll go through all those things. And then lastly, we'll do a little Q&A. So hold your questions till the end. That helps tremendously. And before we do all that, let's jump into today's, the market itself. And just so you know, if you're watching this live, obviously there's no timestamps, but if you're watching the recording, there'll be timestamps below, so you can skip ahead and do whatever you want to do. Also, the news takes about 10 or 15 minutes. This one might take a bit longer because we have more stories. But at the end is the Q&A, which could go 15, 20, 25 minutes, depending on the amount of questions. So break that up as you see fit, but you're welcome to leave at any time. All right, so let's jump into it and see what we got for today. Well, first, let's take a look at the market. And surprise, we're above 2 trillion. I went to bed around 1.9 trillion, woke up, and we make some money. And that's how it's done as an investor. I like these parts because I don't have to do anything. I just go to bed and I wake up, and sometimes my portfolio is looking pretty good. Sometimes not so much. But today's a good day. Let's celebrate. Bitcoin's up 2.6, Ethereum's up 2.4, but look at those 7-day numbers, 12.5%, 18%. And some people were saying this was a trap, and it very well could be. I mean, we could crash tomorrow. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. So if you were dollar cost averaging and doing things, now it's the time to make that decision. Do you want to let it ride, or do you want to take some profits? And that's up to you, because I'm not a financial advisor. This is just investment opinion. But for me, probably take a little bit of profits on the way up. Dollar cost average in, dollar cost average out. Don't come crying to me if the market falls apart, because guess what? It's pretty volatile. All right, Binance coin up 3.4. Anything big? XRP up 15%. I know that'll make the XRP army happy. And maybe there's something going on I'm not aware of, but 15% in 24 hours is a pretty big jump, 30% almost in a week. And it's looking pretty good. Shiba Inu, congratulations, you guys, for holding 23%. Man, that's massive. And then off we go. Phantom almost 10%, 7%, 5%. So 9% for Ethereum Classic. Someone explained to me why Ethereum Classic pumped up, and someone explained to me why Ethereum Classic is still around. Just asking the question, I have no idea. And right now we're at it's 10 a.m. here in Guaynabo, Puerto Rico. That means the markets aren't open, but I'm hoping to expect some good things, but who knows? I mean, look, yesterday was a pretty good day for the S&P 500, or not yesterday, Friday, excuse me. And the market's going to take another, what do we got? Yeah, another 30 minutes or so. So we'll see. I don't know what's happening, but Tesla, like we were talking about at the beginning, is looking pretty good. So this was the annual report that just came out February 8th. And it's some things that I think we had all suspected and knew, because there wasn't much chatter about them selling. And we could read all this stuff. I linked this in the description. You can read it all. It's fascinating. But let's just break it down into some of the more easier things. There we go. Here's the stuff I highlighted. And it's kind of hard to see because I can't blow it up too much more. Let me just read it to you. There's 3 sentences essentially I'll talk about. And it states, in the first quarter of 2021, we, Tesla, invested an aggregate of $1.5 billion in Bitcoin. Wow. We believe in the long-term potential of digital assets, both as an investment and also as a liquid alternative to cash. I like to hear that. That sounds pretty good. Now let's go down a little bit. During the year ended December 31st, we recorded $101 million of impairment losses. We also realized gains of $128 million in connection with selling a portion of our holdings in March 2021. So hey, that happens. I told you they'd sell. Of course they're going to sell. But they hold a lot more. So I'm pretty happy about that. And then this is the big one. This one sentence just sums it all up. In the first quarter of 2021, we invested $1.5 billion. And the fair market value of our Bitcoin holdings as of December 31st, 2021 was $1.99 billion. So you made $500 million and you didn't do anything. Well, you bought into the volatility. You were brave enough to hold it. So just imagine that. So right now, why is this important? Well, it's not really super important. Let's just be honest. It's just not. But in the future, when we have different corporations, institutions looking at it and going, well, we're sitting on a pile of cash. This is what Michael Saylor talks about all the time. Melting cash, just sitting on blocks and blocks of ice, and it's just melting underneath you because of inflation. So you can just let it sit there in your treasury, which is fine. Everybody needs a little bit of money to sit on, right? But if you could allocate, 1, 2, 3, 5% into Bitcoin, a lot of these institutions, look how much Tesla did in a super volatile year. We lost 50% from November all the way to end of December. And that's no joke. But here they are. They had $1.5 billion, $500 million, didn't do anything. That's a pretty good thing. And if you don't have to do anything for that, I think institutions might sit up and take notice and actually maybe to invest. Let me know what you think about that in the comments section. You're going to hear a lot about that story today. Let's move on to our next piece, which I think is even more telling. China. So China debuts the digital yuan at Winter Olympics. So if you're not aware, the Winter Olympics are going on right now. And if you're not aware, it's okay, because this is one of the lowest rated Winter Olympics or Olympics in the last 25 years. That was by Nielsen ratings. And why is nobody watching? I don't know. No one seems to care, I guess. But that's not the story. The story is what's going on with all those athletes and all those reporters and all those people that are flooding into China to either compete or to talk about or to train or to write posts or to be press. And what do they do when they get there? Well, they have the opportunity to download an app and start using this thing called a digital yuan. So just so you know, digital yuan trials, which have been ongoing domestically since 2019, were introduced to athletes and foreign visitors on Thursday as a means to pay for goods inside the Olympic Village alongside Visa, payments, and cash. So first of all, if it was me, I don't think I would download a monetary app from China to start to spend different things using the digital yuan. Now, I believe that there was a couple of congressmen and women who warned against the athletes actually doing this. I'm not for sure if they actually put a ban on the American athletes from doing it, but from what I understand, a lot of athletes are downloading these apps and using the digital yuan. So what does that mean? Well, that means that's it's a pretty good tracking software. And if they don't think that it's tracking, they're out of their mind. And you have to understand, a lot of people don't care about that, right? How many times have your friends and families and loved ones just download the Facebook app and whatever, it's Facebook, I don't care. And they don't realize the fact that they're being watched and surveyed and everything else, and everything's being tracked like crazy. So take that from Facebook, an American company, extrapolate that over to China, and now they have the information that you have, or they have, for all your spending habits. Is that a good process? Well, for China, potentially, I think it could be. But this is just amazing to me. It's actually going on. But there's a catch. So the trial, CBDC's digital yuan, follows China recently announced list of 164 national blockchain entities to join domestic retail CBDC tests. I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. China is, really letting loose, and they're getting the blockchain and crypto. No, they aren't, because China, People's Republic of China, communist country, and the government is in lockstep with most all businesses over there. That's just how it is. And this is an article that just came out 9 hours ago. China is kicking off a intensive blockchain trial in Beijing. Remember, there's a difference between blockchain, crypto, and digital assets. Blockchain in Beijing, Shanghai, and other major cities just months after it reiterates its ban on digital currencies. Trial will involve 164 entities in various sectors, ranging from law enforcement and taxation to equity markets and education. So all these different sectors, as far as business, they're able to do whatever they want to do with blockchain, but it's all owned by the government. And that's where it comes down to. And then in a letter penned by the Senator to Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen and Secretary of State Anthony Blinken on Wednesday, Senator Toomey asked policymakers to closely examine Beijing's CBDC rollout during the games and to provide his office with a briefing. Analysts have raised the ECNY's potential to subvert U.S. sanctions, facilitate illicit money flows, enhance China's surveillance capabilities, and provide Beijing with first-mover advantages such as setting standards in cross-border digital payments. That is a perfect example of why the U.S. government, the Biden administration came out and labeled crypto as a national security threat. This was just on January 28th. And the reason is because of places just like China. Like I said, they're crushing us in the rollout. Russia's doing the same exact thing. America just seems to drag its feet for whatever reason. I said there was two sectors that you have to conquer to rule the world, essentially. Well, military, obviously, the first one. Next one is digital assets and cryptocurrencies. And the last one is artificial intelligence. You nail those three, you're the next superpower for the next millennia. Let me know what you think about that in the comments section. Dangerous times. Let's move on to our next piece, next to last. I thought it was interesting. A Florida home, check this out. A Florida home is to be sold as an NFT, as a DAO, as they seek a Bel Air mega mansion. And this is going to lead us into our next story about Diddy and why he moved to Portugal. So on February 8th, which is tomorrow, right? What's the date today? The 7th. A home in Gulfport will be auctioned as an NFT, according to the homeowner Leslie Alessandra. It will be the first U.S.-based real estate sale to auction a home in NFT form. And it's going to be run by a company called Proppy, a firm that sold Michael Arrington's flat. If you're taking a look at Proppy, the website is proppy.com. And that's it. And this could be the new big thing of how you sell your homes. But it sounds weird. It sounds weird. It sounds like it could be done, but I think there's some things that need to be put in place. But anyhow, Alessandra, person that's doing this, insists that the NFT allows the owners to sell the home as quickly as a Venmo transfer. So I think to myself, I'm like, well, how is that going to work as far as like real estate agents? Because real estate agents, they get 3% cut for everything that they sell, right? That is the seller and the buyer. So there's 6% right at the top for the homeowner. And yeah, that sucks for you, but I mean, people got to work, right? And people got to show, and people want to figure it out or be able to find it. So if you're doing like NFT, and there's a website or even Web3 place where you can go to look for all your properties, why do you need a real estate agent? Well, there's all the jobs gone right there. And the next question I have is, how do they record the sale to the government, not to the government, but to the county, so you have the deed to where you have it? I know people will say, well, Rob, it's on the blockchain, it's right there, and it's immutable. Yes, that's true. But how is that locked in with the county? Because, they don't have the technology for that. Even though that we can say, yes, I own that because it's right now on the blockchain and it's immutable. We can't change everything else. So yeah, that's it. I just wonder how they did that to make that all legal. So the NFT will also feature a mural crafted by a local artist known as Saint Paint. So that's pretty cool. You can actually sell your house and then have like little add-ons and things like that. Maybe there's like a little bit of utility moving forward. And then and if you think about it, maybe if you could sell it, you could sell it to multiple people all at once. And then if you want to do like short-term rentals, you can say, hey, we have it as an NFT and we have 5-10 people. You guys want to buy it? That's fine. Now you own it. Now you can do whatever you want with it as far as like setting it up for like short-term rentals, and then you 10 people split. There's a lot of different things you can do. It's just figuring out the exact way to do it. I think it's a great idea. So to finish this up quickly, this was interesting. There's another project called the One DAO, which plans to leverage a decentralized autonomous organization, or a DAO, to purchase the infamous home called The One in Bel Air. There is the house. Looks like someplace Tony Stark would actually live in. That's crazy. And I think it's like, I want to say this house home will provide DAO members with a chance to stay at the mega mansion. And as a member of the DAO, you'll be able to enjoy and stay in the one mega mansion with 21 bedrooms and 2 people per bedroom. The one can accommodate 15,000 plus DAO members per year. Yeah, sure. I mean, if you want to, cram yourself in with a bunch of other people, 21 people, it'd be a hell of a party, I will tell you that. And that, I think, right there is the future. And this is one of the things that we are talking about right now as far as like DAOs and buying up property, especially commercial property here in Puerto Rico. So commercial property here is like run down. It is. Great people, don't get me wrong. A lot of houses that really are going too fast, and it's super overbought right now. But commercial property, man, I got to tell you, if you could take these commercial properties here in Puerto Rico, you can put them on as an NFT. People come in there and buy it. You could have like 20, 30, 50, 100 different people. They all buy it. Then you can, fix it all up, either do short-term rentals or for like middle-income housing for long-term, or you do something like where you could do like just actual commercial business and put people in there, because a lot of people are moving over here. You could do so many things with a DAO the way it is. The trick is setting it up in the right way where it's not a security. So let me just think about that in the comments section. That's what we're going through right now here in Puerto Rico. And let's move on to our last piece. And this is probably, all the things we just talked about are interesting, but this is probably the one that'll probably hit home with you as far as what to do. And I kept it for last because it was the most interesting. The Bitcoin family, friend of the show, Diddy, they moved to Portugal for a 0% tax. And there's Diddy's been on the show like 2 or 3 times. There's this, it's funny. And just so you know, like people say, well, Portugal is at a dangerous place. Is that, and no, in all honesty, this is what it is. In 2021, Portugal ranked 4th on the Global Peace Index, tops the list of best countries for expats. Portugal views crypto as a form of payment, so as a cryptocurrency, which is what I was hoping America would do, but they look at it as property. That distinction is a game changer with respect to taxes. Capital gains resulting from crypto transactions such as cashing out and crypto-to-crypto trades are not subject to personal income taxes. Explain another friend of the show, Sheehan, which will be on the show, I think, this week. Hey, and before we go on, let me know if you want me to get Diddy and Sheehan on the same time and talk about this, because I think it was fascinating what they both said and did. But anyhow, let me know in the comment section. This means, and he goes on, that similar to other fiat currencies, gains from buying or selling crypto are not taxed. It also means that crypto transactions are payments, as well as the exchange of Bitcoin for fiat are not subject to VAT or value-added tax like in the EU. So I don't know where you're at, but in America, the capital gains tax is pretty hefty, between 20 and 37%. And then also each state has their own additional capital gains tax. So if you're living in California, it's like 50%. If it's short-term plus the state, it's pretty bad. This is what Diddy says: if you earn crypto if you earn crypto by providing services in Portugal, you need to pay tax on those cryptos, but I don't earn anything at the moment. So for me, it's 0% tax. Sure, Diddy. Sure you don't. I'm just kidding. You probably don't. For example, even though they don't own any property, the Diddy's, Tia Tutu, are still considered official residents of Portugal. Unlike in Puerto Rico, to really concrete that Act 60, you really should buy property. It helps out to make the case that you actually live here. You're not evading taxes. And unlike other crypto tax havens like Puerto Rico, they aren't required to spend a certain number of days in the country. Let me read that one more time. Unlike other crypto tax havens, like Puerto Rico, you aren't required to spend a certain number of days in the country. So, well, Rob, why didn't you just do that? Why didn't you just move to Portugal? Great question. I'll sum it up in this next piece. There's a Portugal's golden visa. It's given to those who buy property and or invest in a certain amount of money in the country. It's roughly, it can be whatever else it is. Maybe it's like 100,000 or more, I believe. This is, this lady here is the owner of Plan B, Katie Ananina. And I link this article in the description. And she's got a service called Plan B where she does all the hard work and you pay her $20,000 for the legal fees. So there you go. But this is why we didn't move to Portugal. Puerto Rico is what we went to. Moving to Puerto Rico for the tax-free crypto life isn't so simple for the Yanks, Americans. If a taxpayer has a green card as a U.S. citizen or as a U.S. resident, the taxpayer owns U.S. tax on any crypto gains they have, no matter where the crypto or the taxpayer is located. This was from John Feldhammer, partner at law firm Banker Botts and a former IRS senior litigator. Probably knows his stuff. It also doesn't matter if they are dual citizens. So if I get citizenship in Portugal, but I retain my U.S. citizenship, guess who gets scrod? This guy, because I still owe taxes in America. When a U.S. taxpayer expatriates, they are generally subject to the exit tax, which is essentially a tax equal to what the taxpayer would be subject to if they sold all their property the day before they gave up their citizenship. So if you were dollar cost averaging, and he said, I'm moving to Portugal, you can do that, but guess what? You got to pay an exit tax. And guess what? If you hold on to your citizenship, you still got to pay it, because America is one of the few places that does that. Yeah, America. So why didn't we do it? Well, we could have gone over there, but we still like to go back for family and friends and things in America. So it all depends on what you want to do, and especially with your whole the process of investing. It all depends on whatever your goals, because your goals aren't my goals. So that's just another option to give to you. And I'll be putting out that updated Puerto Rico video soon, hopefully this week. And what I should do is get Diddy and Sheehan on there to talk about everything, so everybody has multiple layers and options. So that's it. So let me know what you think about that in the comments section. And that concludes today for the news. If you want to stick around for the Q&A, great. I love this part. I get to answer all your questions, and we'll go from there. So yeah, if you're taking off, thanks so much. Thumbs up, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And let's get to the Q&A stuff. And here we go. Let me shut this banner off. Hey-oh. All right. Terry says the United States is essentially the only country with that exit tax. Yes, America. Gotta love that. Question, any updates for Storm X? No, but Simon talked to me about doing some kind of poker tournament in Vegas. I would have loved to gone, but because I have to be here in Puerto Rico for 183 days, I can't leave. That's a bummer, but it is what it is. Ah, I didn't know that. Barry says Canada has exit tax. I'll put that in my memory. All right. Oh, man. What do you expect for the Everdome listing tomorrow? So Everdome, I did a deep dive on Everdome, and you can check that out on Dan Clips. I only do deep dives over on Dan Clips. This is just the news channel. So Everdome, if you're a Meta Hero, if you own Meta Hero, you should be getting some tokens for Everdome. I forgot the exact tokenomics of the airdrop, but I think it should do well because it's already built in with everybody who has gone through the Everdome process. I mean, Meta Hero process, and are going to get those tokens. So this is another metaverse play, and I like what's going on, but there's a lot of them. So we'll see how it all works out, but I'm rooting for them. I am. See how it goes. Ooh, this is a great question. It's a great question. James Cooper says, hey, Rob, card starter for Sunday Swap. What happened? Why? I did this tweet because some people said that card starter sued Sunday Swap, and there was a bunch of files that were being put out. And if you don't know, Sunday Swap is the decentralized exchange that's built on Cardano. It's one of the first ones, along with Muesli Swap, I think it's called. And there's this big, stake pool operation going on, or initial stake pool offering going on. And when I saw this, I'm like, why is CardStarter suing Sunday Swap? And it was looked like an official legal document. And apparently, allegedly, there was some back and forth between Sunday Swap and CardStarter. They were gonna give CardStarter a massive amount. It's over like 100. I want to say 100 million, 250 million tokens of Sunday Swap for people who held CardStarter tokens. And CardStarter said, we're going to stop our process of bringing to light or bringing to offering a decentralized exchange based on CardStarter, and we'll let SundaySwap do it, and we'll roll our community into SundaySwap. SundaySwap apparently, allegedly, didn't pay out those tokens, their SundaySwap tokens, to the CardStarter community. So everybody's super pissed off right now, super. And I was like, so I don't know. I will tell you this. I'm old enough to know there's two sides of the same story, and I'm old enough to do a little bit of research. And I actually looked into, I think the Southern District of California is where it is actually filed. Ninth Circuit, I forgot. And I went in there and I did a search, and sure enough, it's there. And if you look over on my Twitter account, you'll see the documents that I screenshotted. And yes, CardStarter is suing SundaySwap. So that's what's going on. Now, people were pretty pissed off at me because I didn't immediately condemn SundaySwap. And I'm like, look, it'll all come out in the wash. That's what the legal process is for. There's this thing called discovery. So I can say anything. I can say, you know what? I'm the real Satoshi Nakamoto. And and all this Bitcoin's mine. Okay, well, show us how that's true in discovery. Show us some documents. And if you prove it, then you can have all the Bitcoin, whatever it is, right? So, but that's not the case here. So they have to go through the discovery process. They have to go back and forth for lawyers. It's going to be super expensive. It's going to be drawn out. And if it does come to light that SundaySwap is in the wrong, I will condemn them. I will condemn. That's not great to screw people over. But again, I'm old enough to know there's two sides to every story. There's a lot of things to come out. So sit back and wait. And that's I know it sucks for the people like, well, I want my money. Maybe there was something said in private. Maybe there's a document that says something completely different. Remember, it's sometimes it's a one-sided story. And again, if it is true, it's awful. But I will reserve judgment. And even if I jumped on the bandwagon and started to condemn SundaySwap, what is that going to do for the holders? Not a damn thing. So it all has to come through the courts. If you really want to do it, offer to help out as far as like legal fees, I guess. I don't know. So that's a great question. Maybe I'll do a video on that one. But I will tell you, somebody asked me another question. There's another question that came up. Will this affect Cardano's price? I compare it to like this. It's like when there's like a E. coli recall on salad or lettuce, right, at Walmart. Well, that sucks for salad. And of course, that produce in the ecosystem that is Walmart will go down, right? But will the stock of Walmart go down because there's E. coli in this salad? No, you'll still go to Walmart and buy a 12-pack of Miller Lights. At least I will. And so I think it's all about the ecosystem. Will Cardano go down? It could be dragged down, but in reality, it has nothing to do with Cardano itself. It's just one of those players is a liar. That's what's up. All right. Hope that answered your question. Facebook to zero. I don't think so. But maybe. I mean, Facebook could be the next MySpace. Walmart, really? Yes, Walmart. Miller Lite? Yes, Miller Lite. When Mullet's here. Thanks, man. Old news, bro. Puerto Rico's in the Winter Olympics. Hey, Mike. Oh, that reminds me. We're going to have the Puerto Rico meetup Wednesday from 5 to 7 at Dunbar's. I will be posting that over on Twitter. It's a cool place. And the whole idea of these places, big shout out to Big E for helping me out with this one. The idea was to get people together and go to like smaller chain restaurants and like, in the community and kind of bring people there. And so we could, spend our money at these restaurants and help people out. And that's what it is. Instead of going to some super expensive hotel, which doesn't make any sense to me. That helps DoubleTree or whatever else is here. I don't know. Another great question. Daniel says, have you heard any updates on Meld? No, but I'm going to do a video about how you can stake Meld. So just so you know, Meld is, again, we did a deep dive video over on Dan Clips. Meld is the ability to take out loans, and you only have to pay back the interest, not the actual principal. So if you take out 100,000, and let's say it's at 4%, so whatever the interest is on that, you only have to pay back the interest, and the principal gets paid back because you're going to put up crypto, and they're going to yield farm it, and it's going to pay it. I know it sounds crazy, but the math does work out in some ways. Sometimes not perfectly, but it has to go through a whole process. So check out the video. And they just did an airdrop because they had a stake pool, another initial stake pool offering where you could delegate to Meld pools. They would airdrop you Meld, which was pretty great because it happened in 4 hours on the Cardano blockchain. Worked out pretty well. And now you have the ability to stake it. And if you go to, I'll show you right now. Let me share my screen. If you go to meld.com and you click on app, upper right-hand corner, and then you have to create look at that. Meld Data, Matic Ether. Then you have to connect your NAMI wallet. Hey, there we go. Which I just did. I have almost 500,000 Meld. Bam. It was a good stake pool offering. And I got $107 of data. Bam. And you can stake it. And you go over here in this upper left-hand corner. And you can, 6 months or 12 months. At 6 months, you get 12%. 12 months, you get 15. I'm going to go for 6. I don't see the point of doing 6 more months for 15%. That's just me. And I'm going to go through this whole process, how to download the NAMI wallet, do all those things, and you can stake it and go from there. So great question. And that's what's up. All right. Big E says, testing 43 again. Big E, thanks for that. The Dunbars, that's a good place. We just went there yesterday. The wings are great. The hamburgers, Julian, almost 500K mil FML. Look, man, here's the thing. It didn't always start like that. Remember where I was in 2017, 2018? 80 to 90% down in my whole portfolio. Dollar cost average, off we go. I just got a message from somebody who said, thanks for telling me about dollar cost averaging with crypto. I started around 2018 when you did. We just bought our house. I have worked my entire life, haven't gone anywhere. Thanks for showing me how to invest. Great. I was like, well, that's not investment advice, but I'm glad you did it. I'm glad you learned from me and probably a bunch of other people. So just remember, wherever you are now, first of all, we're super early and it just takes time. And again, I will tell you, like in 2018, 2019, I used to get really ticked off at people telling me, oh, I'll be okay because it's going to take some time. It does. It just takes time. You just have to be patient. I know in this world, we want everything right now, but if you can weather the storm, things usually work out. Did you do a video on Meld? Well, yes, I did. Be like water. And let me show you where it's at. Here, I'll show you how to find all these things. Ba, 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 ba. Hey, there I am. And I go to Blast That News Clips, Meld. Here's just how I find everything. I'm too lazy to go through the back channel. And there it is. 7 months ago. Jeez Louise. There it is. I'll link at the very end too for if you're watching the replay. Alrighty. Nuno Sibra, great show, Rob. Do you think the U.S. will follow the Russia concerning crypto? No, because we're not a communist country, so we can't move that fast. Like on yesterday's video, I talked about how the speed at which Russia moved to legalize and to legislate and to approve crypto, essentially, It was amazing. And of course, it was a rhetorical question. I said, why can't America do that? Well, America can't do that because we don't have some dictator, kind of, like Putin, that says, hey, do this and do this now, or I'll poison you. I don't know if that's true. That's just hearsay. That's a rumor. I don't know. So we can't do that. So it just takes a little bit more time, and then we have to get everybody on board and da-da-da. So that's the problem with, sometimes that's the problem with decentralization too, is because you got to get everybody to agree, and governance and things like that. But in this place, we got to get people to agree to do it. But I got to tell you, the big thing that stuck with me in the article was they said that Russians own $23 billion worth of crypto, and that was on the low end. But then on another report, it said that they think that it's actually $215 billion are owned by Russians. And what they were talking about was taxation. And they said, you know what, if we tax it, the minimum is going to be 6%. And that's just for transfers and capital gains types of taxes. 15% is the minimum for miners. So if you look at how much money is being sloshed around, there is no way, not a chance, that America would ban Bitcoin. They'll probably, let's be honest, they're not going to get it right in the beginning. I have no faith in them, in the legislatures and the people that actually govern policy, because they don't understand it. They're going to make some bad calls, hopefully not too bad. You're going to have Cynthia Lummis from Wyoming and Toomey come down and be like, no, this is what we got to do. Don't be stupid. This is how it works. And hopefully they can reach into them and do it, and they can minimize, but you will see some regulation, and I think it'll be fine. Just it's like a game, right? Just give me the damn rules so I can figure out how to work around those rules. That's it. Joel's got to quit. Rob, do you have any? Oh, this wasn't it. Do you have any pets? Yeah, I got 2 pets, Chewy and Chloe, 2 dogs. Joel says, I'm 60. Is it still worth for me to use iTrust? You know, here's the thing. I'm not a CPA or someone who's, or any kind of, should give any investment advice. So Joel, all I'm going to tell you is this. It doesn't make sense to me if you're 60 to get a Roth IRA, because it's all about tax reasons and things like that. Although, think of it this way. Everybody's different. But the whole thing with the reason why I got this thing in my upper left-hand corner where it says open a crypto IRA, there's a link in the description. I've used iTrust. The whole thing is to put your crypto into an IRA and not pay taxes on it. And you can take it out whenever as long as you're older than 59 and a half, which Joel is here. I'm just working through this. I'm not for sure. So like if you bought Bitcoin at, what is it today? What'd you say? 43K? Okay, it's 43K. Let's say it goes up to 100K, right? So that's, roughly $57,000 in profits, right? In America, if you're going to sell this less than a year, it's going to be around 33%, somewhere around there, depending on the state. Or if it's long-term capital gains, around 21%. But if you have it in an IRA and you stick it in there, there is 0% cap gains on that, which is pretty awesome, right? And then another thing is that within the IRA, if you want to trade, like here's what some people told me they do, I don't do this, is when the price of Bitcoin, like if things are really crashing, like we just saw 50%, they will do all the trades in their iTrust IRA account, and they'll sell their Bitcoin for dollars, and they'll let it sit until it goes down, and then they'll buy it back up again. And they got a ton of different cryptos over there. I mean, they have like Chainlink, they have Ethereum, they have Mana, Decentraland, all those things. And they do the trades, and whatever they put it back into it, there's no capital gains tax because it's within your IRA, which I thought was pretty cool. So that's it. Joel, what I tell you is don't listen to me because I don't know exactly every ins and outs. Talk to the guys over at iTrust. Sit down with them. That's what I did for 30 minutes on a virtual call with a real person and ask them these questions, because that's the only way to get things done. All right. I'll move to Portugal. Yeah. Link. So link to iTrust. There's a link in the description of all the videos. There's one for iTrust. There's one for Masterworks if you're looking for fractionalized share of fine art, because I think it's a great hedge. Because guess what? Super rich people don't care what the market does, and they'll still buy it. And I also have a playlist on real estate of how we do things and how we buy stuff. So there's a link underneath there. And there's also a link for all those articles we just talked about. In the middle part of the description, I put all the links for all the articles I talk about, so you can find it easily. And then you can say Rob's not a liar, because that's a real article. That's what's up. Oh, Easy says Roth over 60 is free trades. Thanks. Okay. Yeah, man. So look, I've been paying taxes since I was 14 or 15. I had a job at that age. And I paid my taxes when I was in the military for 8 years when I didn't make squat. I didn't make anything in the military. But you still got to pay. And it just sucks. Then, the more you make, the more they tax you. So do I think that tax relief in the U.S., it's up to you, because you don't have to deal with that. There's options for you. You just got to, here's an option for me in Puerto Rico. There's also options for starting businesses. There's also options, and this is why I like real estate so much, is because the depreciation of the asset, meaning the house itself or the apartment or the condo, whatever else is rolled over 30 years. So you can take those depreciating assets and work those in against your taxes, and it lowers your taxes. It's like the simplest things of all time. That's why everybody talks about real estate like it's so great. It's like magic. But again, that's what it is. Mastermind says, do you miss nursing? So in the military, I was two things. I was a medic, and then I got into nursing, so I was sick of being in the field. Do I miss nursing? No. That's it. I missed management. That was fun. I did a couple of home healthcare companies. It was in the management, though, I think. That was an interesting job. You know what I really miss is working for KCI, which is a wound vac company. That was cool. I used to go into the surgery centers, and we used to take these, it was medical grade sponges, and we'd have these massive people with wounds, like huge wounds. I know it's gross. We'd stick them in there in these sponges and these wounds. We'd cover it up with plastic, connected to a device. It was negative pressure wound therapy, and it would collapse everything. That was fun. And that was it. Other than that, no. Jason says, Panama seems like a good country. And I think that's it. Rob seems to have a lighter. And we'll do this. Thank you, Joel, for stopping by. And that's it, guys. We've gone 42 minutes. That's it for today. So look, if you like today's video, thumbs up and subscribe. That always helps tremendously. I'm going to put up 2 videos right here. If you're watching the replay, also obviously time cards. So I'll put in the meld video because people were asking about that. And then I'll put the one from yesterday, which was the Russia and how they regulated everything so fast. So that's it. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. See you on the next one. Adios.